Hello everyone, and welcome to Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. On this show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be breaking down all of the day's movie news and going over what it means for the production in general, such as casting decisions, trailer announcements, director announcements, things like that. Now, normally, as you can see, I usually have a studio behind me, at least with proper lighting and proper audio equipment and things like that. Unfortunately, because I am doing the show live from Los Angeles, I'm not able to have any of that stuff with me, so I am recording this. I do apologize for the quality if it is different. Well, I know that it is different than what it normally is, but I figured that I would try to do as many shows as I could while I'm down here, because I'm also going to be covering the ComicCon stuff that's happening down in San Diego, but also doing a lot of stuff up here as well. I know I said that I wasn't going to have a Wednesday episode, but I decided to do it only because there's been so much information that's come out because, or in lieu of Comic-Con. A lot of the information has come out beforehand, so figured I'd do an episode just to kind of get everybody up to snuff on all that stuff. So, without any further ado, let's get started with the first topic. And the first topic that we have here is Marvel has actually gone ahead and announced new release dates for 6 new films. Unannounced titles for these release dates, but they've released the actual dates themselves. So excluding the ones that they previously announced, we now have July 28th, 2017. We have November 3rd, 2017. May 4th, 2018. That's the new one that actually just dropped today. July 6th, 2018. November 2nd, 2018. And May 3rd, 2019. Now, there's been a lot of speculation as to what a lot of these could be. When the first announcement came out, it was just 5 release dates. And there was no May 4th, 2018. And a lot of people were confused because that would disrupt the 3-year May release of an Avengers film, culminating that phase. And a lot of people were kind of not concerned, but they thought it was kind of weird, and they figured that the May 2019 release date was going to be for Avengers. Well, it looks like that may not be the case entirely, and I'll break down why I think that. So Phase 3 we know will be Ant-Man in July of 2015, July 17th, Captain America 3 on May 6th, very likely that Doctor Strange is going to be the July 2016, did I say 2006? 2016, my apologies. Doctor Strange is more than likely going to be the July 8th, 2016 release date, although they haven't officially come out and announced that. That's probably going to be on Saturday. And Thor is likely to be the May 5th, 2017, because from what we've heard from Kevin Feige, those are the films that we know are in development. And it also fits within the timing, or the time frame that they want to release a sequel to one of their movies at least every 3 years maximum. So that would put Thor most likely in the May 2017 category, although I wouldn't put it past them to have that be the November 2017 release date. Considering the fact, though, that puts it at 4 years is a little jarring, so I don't know if they're going to do that. It'll probably stick to the May, but this is just my speculation as well. But I'm guessing that the other release dates are going to be Black Panther, The Inhumans, which is a very fascinating title. That's basically Marvel's way of still being able to do an X-Men type film without actually having the rights to the X-Men, because they are very similar type characters. It's a team of superheroes. They're not necessarily mutants, but they do have their own unique superpowers, and they do function very similar to the X-Men. So that could be most likely one of the films, and they've talked about doing that in the past as well. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is a for sure because of how Guardians has been tracking. They had the world premiere was last week, as well as the press screening, and both were enthusiastic, positive reaction to that film. So you can guarantee that Guardians 2 is going to be most likely a 2017 release. I'm assuming that we're either going to get a Black Widow spinoff or a Ms. Marvel adaptation. And I'm kind of thinking more along the lines of either I'm actually thinking more Black Widow just because of Scarlett Johansson, but I wouldn't put it past them to do Ms. Marvel. But it's a way for Marvel to get a standalone female superhero film out before DC, because DC hasn't even come out and announced if they are doing a Wonder Woman spinoff. Gal Gadot is signed for 3 films, and those films have been speculated to be Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Justice League, and a Wonder Woman spinoff. Now, it could end up being that she's just signed on for Batman v Superman, Justice League, and Justice League 2. So we don't exactly know yet, but Marvel is, I believe they're trying to get ahead of the curve and get that out. But I think that the May 2018 release is actually going to be Avengers, and the May 2019 release is going to be Iron Man 4. And my next story is actually going to touch on why I think that is. But Most of the stuff will most likely be announced on Saturday at I believe it's 6:30 is their panel, and we know they have the entire cast of Avengers: Age of Ultron. We know they have the entire cast of Ant-Man. So those are going to be two major sections, and then probably at the very end they're going to say, okay, and this is the next slew of films that we have coming out. So we're going to get the release date of Doctor Strange, and it's most likely going to be that July 2016 release. They're probably going to announce not only the directors of Thor 3, but the release date of Thor 3, maybe even the title, because what they did a couple of years ago, they released the titles for Captain America Winter Soldier, Thor the Dark World, and Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm assuming that's what we're going to get this year. And also, they just released, and you can find, I tweeted out just before I started recording this episode, I tweeted out the first two concept art posters that have been released for Avengers: Age of Ultron at ComicCon. And it's the same type of thing that they did back in 2011, I believe, with the first Avengers. So each one of these posters is going to be individual, but they are going to connect to this massive, long, panoramic type banner, which is going to have all of the characters in it. And so over the next few days, they're going to release all of them. Most likely all of them will be out before the Comic-Con panel, but they may wait and actually have the final posters come out during that panel. But in terms of any information regarding Marvel, I will definitely update you guys on here when news comes out. So the next story actually does tie into Marvel a little bit. Robert Downey Jr. was just interviewed about possibly returning for an Iron Man 4. And for a while, both him and Gwyneth Paltrow have kind of dismissed the idea. They said, no, we've tied up his arc. We've dealt with the character of Tony Stark. There's nothing really more that we can go in terms of the character arc that they've already established in the films. There's obviously places that they can go. One thing they never even really touched on, they did a little bit in the second movie, but they didn't do a lot, is his alcoholism. And what was it? Was it Message in a Bottle? Was that the story arc that where Tony Stark really had to deal with that? Again, they touched on it in Iron Man 2, but not a whole lot. So that's another storyline that they could come up with it. He was originally just re-signed for Avengers: Age of Ultron and Avengers 3 when his contract dispute was up, and he re-signed. But now he is saying that he's open to the possibility. He's basically saying it's up to Ike and Kevin Feige, and Ike. I should have written his name down. He's the CEO of Marvel, and Kevin Feige, obviously the head honcho at Marvel. He's open to hearing the proposal, essentially. And when dealing with something like that, a lot of factors could come into play. Whether or not it's the proposal of the amount that he's going to get paid, which I doubt that's an actual concern for him. I'm guessing that it's going to be more so, what more can you do with the character of Tony? What more can be explored in this world? What else can you do and not have it feel like, why didn't these guys come in? That kind of story. A lot of people felt that with Iron Man 3, but a lot of people keep forgetting that these movies take the span of time is very short during these films, so they don't have the ability to just call up Thor, call up Hulk, or anything like that. Another thing is he may be actually intrigued with getting his Team Downey production company, getting them a few more projects, or at least a few more studio backings for the projects that they're trying to get made. And if that's the case, that makes a lot more sense. If he comes in and says, listen, I want you guys to finance or distribute this film, and this film, if that's the